Personal injury. Is it a lottery? That's something that we don't really like to talk about as personal injury lawyers, but let's talk about it. So you probably have heard a lot in the news or through advertising, infomercials, things that you see on TV or social media. People refer to personal injury cases as a lottery. Oh, that guy got $1 million, and he won the lottery, or, it's a justice jackpot that sometimes it's referred to. And then you may start believing that. You may start thinking that's a real thing. And I guess if you start thinking about it, it sort of is a real thing, right? It is kind of like the lottery. You basically, something happens, and then after some period of time, if you're fortunate, you get a significant amount of money. But when you go play the lottery, you go to the store or whatever you buy your ticket from, you reach in your pocket, you pull out your money and you give it to the cashier, and it's maybe $1, maybe $5, whatever it is, and then they give you the ticket, and then you go and live in your normal life as you typically would, and then you look online or you look on the TV whenever the time comes to find out if you won the lottery. And then if you're fortunate, your number comes up and you get a lot of money. And then after you get a lot of money, you live your life the same way you were living it before you bought that ticket. You can still see your family, and you can still do whatever hobbies you had, and you're still in the same amount of health, or you're still as healthy as you were before. And your life is just better, right? Because you won the lottery. And when you think about that on a personal injury context, it's how you buy that ticket that is significantly different in what we do. Because when somebody wins the lottery in what we do, what that means is that they had something catastrophic happen to them. It means that, when they get up in the morning, they're not the same that they were before the injury. They may not be able to walk anymore. They may not be able to do any of the hobbies or any of the physical activities that they like to do before. They may not be able to be pain-free. So literally every second of every day, they could be in some level of pain, whereas before they were not. Potentially able to play with their kids, be there for their grandkids. And that's in a scenario where the person's alive, because a lot of what we do is for the families of people who are dead, who have passed away as a result of what happened to them. And so in that scenario, the person who bought the ticket is not really around anymore, because they're dead as a result of negligence of others. And so at the end of that process, if everything's done right, and if they're fortunate, and if they have a good lawyer, then either the family of the person who's passed away or the person who is catastrophically injured, they should and will get a lot of money. And so in that sense, it's like the lottery, but it's the kind of lottery that no one really wants to buy a ticket for. It's the kind of lottery that you find yourself playing through no fault of your own. You never really wanted to play that lottery. You never really wanted to be in the drawing for that final prize. Because at the end of the day, one thing that is true across the board for the catastrophically injured people that we represent, or for the families of the loved ones who have died, is that if they could do it all over again, they would give up all the money, they would give up everything that they got out of the case just to have their loved one back or to have their health back. So when you hear about the personal injury lottery or the justice jackpots, I want you to think about that. And I want you to think about who's putting out those messages and why are those messages being put out, to get normal people like you and me to believe that somehow there's people who are catastrophically injured that somehow rejoicing in the fact that they're able to get compensated for that. When in reality, nobody really wants to be in that situation. Nobody really wants to be there. So I don't know about you, but it's a lottery that I never want to play. And if I had it my way, I would not have a job, because it's a lottery that no one would have to play ever.